We have new exclusive video tonight of the first few seconds of the killer making his run for freedom. 17's Rob Hagan shows you what happened when Cesar Hernandez escaped from custody 4 days ago.
New video shows escaped inmate Cesar Hernandez run across this field with the CDC officer in pursuit far behind. Join me as we trace the steps of a killer on the run here on day 4. Look at this video. It shows the shocking first few seconds of the desperate escape of Delano inmate Cesar Hernandez as he sprints across a field with a CDC officer in pursuit. It appears his hands aren't cuffed and his feet aren't shackled. But we don't know because CDCR is refusing to answer all questions. The officer raises his weapon but lowers it when Hernandez gets to the alleyway. Here's a closer look. Hernandez is half a football field in front of the officer during the foot chase. Hernandez turns back to look at his pursuer. You could see the officer raise his weapon, then you could see him lower it. We still don't know if it's a gun or a taser. California Penal Code 835A states a peace officer may use deadly force to prevent the escape of a dangerous person. This means a peace officer is justified in using deadly force to apprehend a fleeing person for any felony that threatened or resulted in death. It's still unclear why the officer did not pull the trigger because Hernandez is a convicted killer. Here's how inmates are transferred into the Delano Superior Court building. You can see the inmate's hands are cuffed and his feet are shackled as 2 officers walk him through the CDCR court entrance. We still don't know if the gate was open when Hernandez escaped or if he hopped the fence. There's a concrete wall on the inside of the inmate transfer parking lot that Hernandez might have used as a step to jump the fence. The step cuts the height of the fence in half. Hernandez fled down Kensington Street across the field in front of City Hall and then southbound through the alley towards 10th Street. It's unclear what happened next because the CDCR isn't talking. Delano schools were put on lockdown Monday and Tuesday and school was canceled Wednesday and Thursday. We've asked the CDCR, how did Hernandez escape? Is he still in the area? Does he have associates in the area? Was he handcuffed? Was he shackled? What is the inmate transfer protocol? The CDCR issued a statement Thursday stating investigators have determined Hernandez fled the area and the security risk around Delano has diminished. Rob Hagan, 17 News.
17's Rob Hagan has been following incidents tied to law enforcement officers involved in deadly crashes and the collateral damage left behind. He joins us now in studio with more. Rob?
Jim, some of these accidents date back as far as 2008 and others as recent as just last month. Some were pedestrians, some were in their vehicles or on their motorcycles, but all of the people in this story shared twisted metal with law enforcement. Destruction, injury, even death, all caused by terrible crashes involving sheriff's deputies and police officers in Kern County. 2011, 2 lives taken in the blink of an eye when Deputy John Swearingen took his eyes off the road to grab his radio. He was traveling 80 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone on Norris Road with no lights or siren when he hit 24-year-old Daniel Heiler and 30-year-old Crystal Jolly as they pushed a motorcycle across the darkened roadway. Swearingen took a plea deal, a misdemeanor for vehicular manslaughter, 480 hours of community service, and 3 years probation. A lawsuit was settled for $8.8 million for the Heiler and Jolly families. 2017, Kern Deputy Nicholas Clerico pleading no contest to vehicular manslaughter after running a red light on Northchester Avenue and slamming into 72-year-old Nancy Joyce Garrett, killing her instantly. Deputy Clerico was traveling 85 miles per hour when he struck Garrett's vehicle at about 2 in the morning. She was coming back from a Dodgers game. He was going to assist another deputy in a bar fight. Garrett's family settled for $2.5 million in the lawsuit against Kern County. Clerico was sentenced to 240 hours of community service. 2018, $3.8 million paid out to the family of 59-year-old Larry Meharry, struck and killed on his motorcycle by a sheriff's deputy-involved crash July 14, 2015 on Norris Road. Sergeant Marvin Gomez tried turning south on Airport Drive on a red arrow to assist with a domestic violence call. Meharry was killed on his brand new Harley. Prosecutors declined to charge Gomez for vehicular manslaughter. 2008, Deputy James Throne killed May 23rd at Blackburn Street and Weed Patch Highway in a collision with another deputy involved in the same chase. October 7th, 2023, 2 people died in a crash on Highway 178 when 31-year-old Jack Lee Brown crossed into the other lane near Kelso Valley Road, hitting 2 motorcycles and spinning into 41-year-old Deputy Amanda Plug. Brown and one of the motorcyclists died at the scene. The other motorcyclist was treated for serious injuries. Plug was not injured. The crash remains under investigation. October 8th, 2023. 21-year-old Enrique Lavera Carrillo is facing attempted murder charges after McFarland police say he intentionally crashed his vehicle into a deputy's patrol car during a pursuit. The deputy sustained minor injuries. November 10th, 2023. 18-year-old Donovan Diaz from Shafter was killed during a high-speed pursuit on Chester Avenue in Bakersfield. Police say it started when Diaz allegedly ran from a traffic stop near Mount Vernon and Gateway Avenue. The pursuit ended after he lost control of the SUV, causing it to roll and crash into an Albertsons landing on its side. Diaz died at the scene. Also, a settlement conference is set in March for a man who claims the BPD used excessive force during a police pursuit June 2022, crushing his legs with a patrol car. In studio, Rob Hagan, 17 News.
Another downtown Bakersfield landmark is gone this morning. The Toucan building, formerly the home of Thompson's Pet Land, was destroyed by a fire yesterday afternoon. And the building that started out as a bus stop is just one of many vacant downtown buildings that have burned over the last several years. 17's Rob Hagan has more on the destruction that just keeps growing.
It was supposed to be a new co-working space offering more than 9,000 square feet of opportunity. But on this Labor Day, the Toucan building in downtown Bakersfield has been gutted. 2 weeks ago, International Workplace Group announced the building at 19th and N Streets that started as a bus station would now host private offices, meeting rooms, and a place for company startups. The space was expected to open late next year to what would have been up to 30 new businesses. But the homeless got there first. But this is just one of many vacant buildings burned up in downtown Bakersfield by fires, many being historical landmarks.
Arson units are on scene conducting an investigation for fire cause and origin.
Battalion Chief Chris Bowles with the Bakersfield Fire Department issues that statement a lot, but most of the owners of the burned buildings say the cause is the homeless.
The buildings were searched for any occupants, and results were negative on anybody inside the structure still.
The list of destruction keeps growing. The Mission Hotel in downtown caught fire June 2019. Then it was Tina Marie's in December 2020. Maria's Home Furnishings was destroyed July 2021. Then the Restoration Health Building burned up July 15th, 2021, and then again August 20th, 2021. The Hart Hotel was the site of an inferno April 2022. 5 months later, it was 2 buildings on the 2000 block of Chester Avenue. November 2023, it was the Classic Home Store on Chester Avenue. January 2024, the Mount Vernon Florist was the site of another vacant fire. April 2024, the giant landmark building on 18th Street of downtown burned up for the 4th time. June was a busy month for firefighters. June 4th, Great American Antiques was destroyed in a fire. June 23rd, the Benai Jacob Synagogue and its straw-insulated roof was another victim of vacant fires. And June 30th, the Italian Heritage Dante Hall went up in flames for the 2nd time.
Rob Hagan reporting.
In your 17 Crime Watch tonight, new details emerging this hour stemming from a disturbing incident caught on camera after an injured dog was dumped like trash. 17 News has now learned the dog named Rose has died. 17's Rob Hagan has more on the case of animal cruelty and a warning to you. The following video may be disturbing.
The Kern County Animal Shelter says Rose died from blunt force trauma injuries, most likely from being run over by a car. This is video of someone wrapping the injured dog in blankets before tossing her in the dumpster behind a locked gate surrounded by razor wire and jump-proof spikes. It happened 2 a.m. Monday behind Rusty's Pizza Parlor on Niles Street. A worker with Rusty's Pizza says a homeless man brought their attention to the dog crying in the dumpster and they called animal control. Kern County Animal Services found the dog in the dumpster at 10:41 a.m. Tuesday, more than 8 hours after she was tossed in the trash. The worker thought Rose was dead until Rose picked her head up and whimpered.
I've never lived anywhere like this before. It breaks my heart on a daily basis.
Veterinary surgeon Nicole Eller saw the video. She says it's a case of animal cruelty.
Picking a dog up and putting it in a dumpster, it's not dead, there's nothing right about that. There's nothing right here, there's nothing right here. That's against the law.
Kern County Animal Services Director Nick Cullen says Rose was deceased upon our arrival and she appeared to be an American Pit Bull Terrier mix. Significant blunt force trauma, the type of trauma we typically see as a result of an animal being hit by a moving vehicle, was likely what led to her death, though immediate veterinary care may have saved her life. Cullen said it's not known how Rose's injuries were received.
The only way to really tell for sure would be to do a full necropsy of the animal, which means an autopsy in animal terms.
If you find an injured animal in need of immediate care, call Animal Control because officers are on call 24/7.
I have never lived in a place like Kern County where you see the number of abandoned animals, injured animals, dumped puppies, dumped kittens. People need to step up and take responsibility for their animals.
The worker at Rusty's Pizza Parlor who found Rose said her eyes were popped out of her skull from the impact. If you know something, say something and email animalservices@kerncounty.com. In Bakersfield, Rob Hagan, 17 News.
One of the recurring concerns we continue to hear from our viewers is the widespread belief that Zach Scrivener received special treatment. The length of the investigation and lack of communication from investigators begs the question, what if it were someone else? Here's 17's Rob Hagan with that part of our coverage.
I wouldn't be standing up here if we didn't believe that something occurred.
You've heard the facts. You know the story. Community members do too, and they're crying out Zach Scrivener is receiving special treatment. It started April 23rd when the then county supervisor first was accused of child sex abuse. No one called 911 or the local police. Instead, his aunt, the district attorney, placed an 11 p.m. call directly to the sheriff. There was no arrest. Scrivener simply disappeared, leaving his attorney to speak for him. Then people started lining up at the Board of Supervisors meetings. They all had the same concerns.
Zach Scrivener, an elected representative who, because of his political position and his different connections to law enforcement, has received clear preferential treatment over a series of extremely harmful actions, harmful to his family and harmful to the county.
If your child was sexually abused, how long would you like to wait for charges to be filed?
Another citizen said Scrivener is receiving special treatment because of white privilege.
The tough on crime narrative his aunt D.A. Zimmer uses that tends to only apply to poor, marginalized, Black and brown residents.
Scrivener remained gone, the supervisor's dais an empty seat, along with even more angry people.
Is he going to get to hide for 100 years? I wouldn't get to, and neither would you.
Over the last several months, we repeatedly reached out to the district attorney's office. They declined to comment. Rob Hagan, 17 News.